Have you ever wondered why the storms seem relentless, why the winds blow against you, and why the path feels so difficult? Under the perspective of Padre Pio, the turbulence in your journey is not without purpose, but is a divine orchestration of grace and transformation. These trials, though they may bring tears and cries of despair, are not for your destruction, but for your elevation. Each sleepless night and unseen battle was never wasted, but served as a sacred dialogue with the Creator, shaping and preparing you for something far greater than you can currently comprehend. This suffering is not an abandonment, it is an intimate invitation to draw closer to the divine mystery. Like gold refined in fire, your trials are not to be feared, but embraced with trust in God's wisdom, as they chisel away worldly distractions and mold you into a vessel worthy of divine treasures. Padre Pio's journey reminds us that suffering is often the prelude to glory. Your struggles are not meaningless. They build resilience, fortitude, and unwavering faith. They strip away the attachments to worldly comfort, redirecting your heart to seek solace in God alone. When wealth or blessings arrive, they are not merely rewards, but tools entrusted to you for the greater purpose of His kingdom. True wealth is never measured in material abundance, but in the richness of a soul attuned to God's will. It is in this alignment with divine purpose that blessings multiply, serving not only the individual, but the greater good. Consider that every setback is a divine setup. What seems like loss in your life is often a hidden preparation for an even greater gain. The enemy may seek to sow despair, but perseverance in prayer and trust ensures his plans are thwarted. Remember the principle: the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous. This is no mere promise, it is a divine law. God's providence ensures that what is withheld unjustly will eventually be placed in the hands of those who walk faithfully in His ways. As Padre Pio often reminded us, blessings come with responsibility. Harvest is not a season of ease, but of diligent labor. Just as the farmer tends his fields with care, so too must you nurture the blessings bestowed upon you. God seeks stewards, not hoarders, those who will use His gifts to glorify His name and uplift others. When He entrusts you with abundance, it is not for self-indulgence, but to reflect His glory and further His mission on earth. The trials you have endured were not punishments, but preparations. Through them, your spiritual muscles have grown strong. Each sleepless night, each heartfelt prayer was not in vain, but a seed sown in faith. And now, as the season of abundance unfolds, remember that the same God who sustained you in lack will guide you in plenty. He is the anchor in both the storm and the calm, and your reliance on Him must never waver. This new chapter in your life is not an endpoint, but a beginning. It is a testament to God's faithfulness and an opportunity to bear witness to His goodness. As blessings overflow, let your life become a beacon, drawing others to the light of His mercy. Your story will not only inspire, but lead others to seek the divine presence you embody. Favor, after all, is not about merit, but mercy. It is an outpouring of God's love, unearned and unparalleled. Fix your eyes always on the giver, not merely the gifts. Material wealth without spiritual purpose is hollow. Success devoid of significance is fleeting. Your calling is higher, to be a vessel of God's love, a testament to His grace, and an instrument of His peace. In this you will find true fulfillment, for it is not the abundance of possessions, but the richness of spirit that defines the blessed life. As we reflect on these truths, let your heart remain open to the profound workings of grace. The trials that seemed unbearable were never without meaning. They humbled and refined you, making you ready for the divine outpouring that is now at hand. Trust in this process, for in every challenge, God's hand was present, guiding you toward a destiny far greater than you could envision. Padre Pio. Padre Pio once said that God's timing is never mistaken. He operates beyond the confines of human schedules, and when his moment arrives, it is impeccable in its perfection. The delays we endure are not refusals, but divine detours designed to fortify our spirits for the journey ahead. As the seasons in your life shift, embrace this new chapter with the assurance that He who began a good work within you will see it to completion. Fear has no power here, and the opinions of others should not cloud your conviction. If God has spoken it, then it will be so. All that is required of you is faith and obedience. As you step forward, reflect on the path that brought you here. Cherish the lessons, honor the growth, and recognize the sacred process through which God has shaped you. What is unfolding in your life is not solely about you. It is a reflection of His kingdom. This moment of illumination is not for your personal glory, but for His divine purpose. The trials you faced have served their time. The blessings are here. Remain steadfast, grounded, and vigilant, for God is capable of doing abundantly more than you could ever envision or ask for. You are now entering a season where barriers will be broken, not by your might, but by the authority of the divine who goes before you. The challenges you endured were not random acts of hardship, but purposeful tools of transformation. God allowed certain aspects of your life to crumble so He could rebuild them stronger. He permitted some people to walk away, understanding they were not equipped to journey with you to the heights He has planned. Padre Pio often reminded us that what appeared to be losses were, in truth, moments of pruning, necessary to prepare you for the abundance awaiting you. Let this moment be one of covenant, for God's promises are intertwined with His principles. The wealth, influence, and blessings that are being released into your life are not solely for personal satisfaction. They are instruments for His work, entrusted to you for the betterment of others. God blesses you so you may bless others. He fills your life so that you may pour into the lives of those in need. The intensity of your trials match the magnitude of your calling, refining you to a deeper level. Consider David, who was anointed as king long before he wore the crown. Between his anointing and his appointment, he faced rejection, betrayal, and numerous battles. Yet each challenge served as preparation for his destiny. In the same way, your trials were not meant to break you but to mold you. God was crafting within you the heart of a warrior, the mind of a steward, and the faith of a conqueror. Padre Pio's teachings remind us that what felt like breaking was, in fact, the making of your spirit. These trials served as tests of character. When you had little, did you still give? When doors seemed immovable, did you keep knocking? When prayers seemed unanswered, did you maintain faith? These moments were less about what you had and more about who you were becoming. Now that you have persevered, heaven is opening before you. This is the intersection where faith meets fulfillment. The tears you sowed will now reap a harvest of joy. However, with the harvest comes responsibility. God is not merely providing resources, He is entrusting you with influence. You are being positioned as a beacon in a world darkened by despair. Your wealth will not be measured by its numerical value, but by the lives it transforms, the souls it touches, and the legacy it leaves. The enemy will attempt to instill doubts of unworthiness and inadequacy. Let these whispers fall away, for they hold no truth. It is not your worthiness, but God's faithfulness that has brought you here. His choice was never about your abilities, but about His power working through you. Fear and doubt have no claim over what God has ordained. Step forward boldly into this new season, confident that He who called you is also equipping you. Even now, as you prepare for this chapter, guard your heart and mind. Distractions will emerge, temptations will arise, and doubts will whisper. Focus steadfastly on Him, seeking wisdom in your decisions and trusting His guidance at every turn. Remember that the same God who carried you through trials will sustain you in triumph. You are on the brink of witnessing the fruition of promises that have long resided in your spirit. The prayers spoken in the quiet of midnight, the dreams once fragile, the visions you held tightly against all odds, they are all coming into being. This, however, is not the conclusion. It is the beginning of a divine continuum, an ongoing journey where every step is purposeful. Padre Pio reminds you that through faith, obedience, and unwavering trust, you will see the fulfillment of God's will in your life, and in doing so, you will shine as a testament to His glory. From the perspective of Padre Pio, the passage reflects a profound understanding of the divine journey, where every step is orchestrated with purpose and meaning. The trials and challenges you have faced were not in vain, but were divinely permitted to shape and refine you. God's plans, though mysterious and often beyond human comprehension, are imbued with intricate layers of wisdom. The journey is not just about reaching a destination, but about the transformation that occurs along the way. Through suffering, patience, and faith, your character has been molded to align with God's will. The setbacks, delays, and closed doors were not signs of abandonment, but of preparation, teaching you to surrender completely to God's providence. It is in the moments of impossibility that one learns to lean fully on Him, to set aside human understanding, and to embrace divine guidance. True wealth in the kingdom is not defined by accumulation, but by the purpose and the good it can achieve for others. You have been called to a higher purpose, one that transcends personal gain. The blessings you are about to receive are not an end in themselves, but tools for stewardship and service. The trials you endured have cultivated in you a heart of compassion, a deeper faith, and a vision for the greater good. These experiences were allowed so that you would understand the profound responsibility that accompanies divine favor. It is God who grants the ability to produce wealth, and it is He who sustains it. As you walk into this season of abundance, humility and obedience must guide your steps. The blessings you are receiving are a testament to God's promises, not merely the result of your efforts. They are meant to glorify Him and to be shared generously, flowing through you to touch the lives of others. The trials you faced were lessons in stewardship, teaching you how to manage both lack and abundance with faith and grace. The enemy, seeing the purpose and calling on your life, may try to sow doubt and fear. He will remind you of your past failures and weaknesses, but you must anchor your identity in God's grace and not in your shortcomings. The trials were never about proving your worth, but about revealing God's power and presence in your life. Your testimony is one of divine intervention, where the impossible was made possible through His love and mercy. This is a season of harvest, where the seeds sown in faith are yielding fruit. Yet with the harvest comes the responsibility to sow again, to continue the cycle of giving and receiving as a faithful steward of God's blessings. The wealth you are stepping into is holistic, encompassing material, spiritual, emotional, and relational abundance. It is a reminder of the interconnectedness of God's blessings and the necessity to remain grounded in gratitude. Humility will be your safeguard in this season. The same God who lifted you up can sustain you, but He requires your constant obedience and connection to Him. Stay rooted in prayer, immersed in His Word, and sensitive to the guidance of the Holy Spirit. The blessings are not the culmination of your journey, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where you're equipped to fulfill the purpose God has placed within you. Your life is becoming a testimony to God's goodness, a beacon of hope for others who are struggling through their trials. People will see the outward evidence of your blessings, but may not know the depth of your journey, the prayers, the tears, the silent battles. Yet your story will reflect God's grace and serve to glorify Him, not to exalt yourself. The wealth you are receiving is a tool for kingdom work, an opportunity to expand His influence and bring His light to those in need. The trials have gifted you with a unique perspective. You have learned to appreciate the small things, to trust in God during the waiting, and to find joy in His presence regardless of circumstances. These lessons will keep you grounded as the blessings flow. They are reminders of the true source of all good things, God's unfailing love and impeccable timing. Padre Pio would urge you to embrace this season with a spirit of gratitude, humility, and unwavering faith, knowing that everything is part of God's divine plan for your life. Padre Pio's teachings remind us that divine timing is perfect. If this moment had arrived earlier, your heart may not have been ready. Had it come later, the weight of waiting might have weakened your resolve. But now, you stand prepared. Your faith has been refined through the crucible of trials, your heart tempered by grace, and your vision cleared by divine illumination. You now understand that blessings are not meant for mere comfort or prestige. They are sacred callings, an invitation to serve with humility and love. As you step into this season, keep your eyes fixed on the one who has guided you thus far. The blessings you receive will not come without their own challenges, but they will be paired with grace sufficient to carry you through. The same hand that held you in the shadows of adversity will sustain you in the light of triumph. He is your provider, your source, and your guide. Trust Him in every step, and you will witness the unfolding of plans far beyond human comprehension. This moment is not born from your merit, but from His unyielding faithfulness, which knows no boundaries. Every victory and breakthrough that now lies ahead has been meticulously prepared by God's providence. The closed doors that once puzzled you, the prolonged seasons that tested your endurance, all were part of a greater purpose. The trials meant to break you instead shaped you, transforming you into a vessel worthy of His trust. The abundance entering your life is not random, but the fulfillment of divine promises. However, these blessings are not yours to exalt yourself, but to uplift others and reflect His glory. The journey of Joseph comes to mind, a path from despair to deliverance, from the prison to the palace. But even at the height of his power, Joseph's heart remained aligned with God's purpose. He recognized his position as a tool for saving lives, not for his own glorification. You too are being called into a season where your actions will ripple into eternity, where your influence will touch lives in ways only heaven can measure. God is using you as an instrument of His grace, and with such favor comes the responsibility to steward it well. You have learned to trust in God during seasons of lack, and now He is teaching you to trust Him in abundance. This is a profound lesson, often overlooked. Wealth and influence can distract if not anchored in a heart of worship. The enemy may use prosperity to lure you into self-reliance, whispering that you no longer need the Creator who brought you this far. But remember, everything you possess and everything you are flows from Him. Without Him, the blessings lose their meaning and their purpose. The trials you endured were not in vain. They were part of a divine process to prepare you for the weight of what is to come. God never places burdens, whether of trials or blessings, beyond what you can bear. The favor now surrounding you, the effortless opportunities, and the opened doors are not coincidences. They are manifestations of His hand in your life. Yet, as these blessings multiply, remain steadfast in your focus on the giver, not the gifts. The world will marvel at the transformation in your life, yet they may not understand its source. They will see the radiance of your blessings, but remain blind to the hours spent in prayer, the moments of despair you overcame, and the faith that carried you forward. Their curiosity offers you a chance to direct them to the true author of your story. Let your testimony bear witness to the living God, who turns trials into triumphs and remains faithful to those who trust Him. These blessings are not merely material wealth. They encompass the fullness of life promised by God, restoration in relationships, healing in the body, and peace in the mind. Every corner of your existence will be touched by His grace, leaving nothing unchanged. But this overflow is not yours to hoard. You are called to be a channel of His blessings, to pour out what He has generously poured into you. In a world starving for hope, you are to be a reflection of His love. Your journey is a testament to perseverance and unshakable faith. While others faltered, you stood firm. When impossibility loomed, you believed in the God who makes all things possible. Let this season of blessing be not just a reward, but a continuation of your calling, a life lived in service, gratitude, and unwavering trust in the one who orchestrates it all. Padre Pio would remind you that the trials of life are but a prelude to eternal joy, and the blessings we receive are tools for a higher purpose. Trust in God, remain humble, and let your life be a light to others. From the perspective of Padre Pio, the journey of faith is one where every step, trial, and triumph reflects the divine orchestration of God's grace. He calls us to embrace this path not as mere coincidence, but as a testament to His eternal wisdom and love. The blessings you're beginning to witness are a response to faith that has been tested and refined, and they mark only the threshold of God's greater purpose for you. What lies ahead is a divine legacy that transcends time, one that will bear fruit for generations and illuminate lives far beyond your own. As you stand on the cusp of this new season, be vigilant. The adversary's aim is to distract you from your God-given purpose, sowing seeds of doubt and fear. Yet God has already equipped you with the armor of faith to resist these attacks. The same hand that guided you through the wilderness will sustain you in this land of promise. His wisdom will illuminate your decisions, His peace will steady you amidst storms, and His strength will uphold you in challenges that might seem insurmountable. Rely on Him wholly, for every tear shed, every whispered prayer, and every faithful step has been preparing you for this moment. Reflect on your trials not as burdens, but as sacred preparations. They were the chisels and hammers in the hands of the divine craftsman, shaping you for the platform of testimony you now stand upon. They refined your motives, purified your spirit, and deepened your dependence on God. Nothing in His plan is accidental. Every delay was an alignment, every detour a redirection, ensuring that you are now ready to carry the weight of the blessings He is pouring into your life. His kingdom does not operate as the world does. Where the world promotes self-reliance and ambition, God calls us to surrender and trust, teaching us to walk by faith even in the darkest valleys. Now that trust, forged in uncertainty, is your greatest asset. You have witnessed God's hand in impossible circumstances, and that assurance will anchor you in this new chapter. The blessings you receive are intentional, each one a divine tool meant to fulfill His purpose through you. These are not gifts to hoard, but resources to steward wisely, expanding His kingdom and drawing others into his light. The abundance coming your way is not only material, but spiritual, a richness that transforms hearts and lives. As you step forward, carry the lessons of the wilderness with you. In that season, you learned the value of relying on God daily, choosing faith over fear, obedience over convenience, and worship over worry. Those lessons were the foundation of your spiritual maturity and will now guide you as you navigate the responsibilities of influence and leadership. The wilderness was not merely a period of struggle, but a divine classroom, preparing you for the discipline and humility required to handle abundance with grace. Overwhelming as the journey ahead may feel, take heart in the truth that God has already equipped you. The resilience, clarity, and perspective you gained through trials have positioned you to steward His blessings effectively. Success is not measured by personal achievement, but by how faithfully you fulfill your calling. God seeks servants who will distribute His blessings wisely, extending His grace and love to others. He has chosen you because you were faithful in the small things, and as Scripture reminds us, those who are faithful with little will be entrusted with much. This is not a time for hesitation or self-doubt. Step boldly into the opportunities God has placed before you, trusting that He has prepared the way. These opportunities will demand courage, wisdom, and discernment, stretching you in ways you have never experienced. Yet, they will also bring a sense of purpose and joy that transcends worldly satisfaction. God's plans for you are immeasurably greater than you can imagine, and through His blessings, He is calling you to be a vessel of His love and a beacon of hope to others. Beware of the temptation to claim credit for what God is doing in your life. The world may celebrate your achievements and seek to elevate you, but remember always to point back to the One who made it all possible. Your life is not a monument to personal success, but a testimony to God's faithfulness, power, and grace. Each victory is an opportunity to glorify Him and to draw others closer to His heart. The trials you endured have instilled in you a profound understanding of patience and perseverance. You now know that God's timing is flawless, even when it does not align with your own expectations. He has been working behind the scenes, orchestrating events in ways beyond human comprehension. That assurance will sustain you when new challenges arise. Trust that the same God who carried you through the wilderness and into the promised land will guide you through every storm and valley yet to come. Padre Pio often reminded us that God's plans are far higher than ours, His ways unfathomable but always perfect. As you move forward, rest in His providence, embrace His guidance, and let your life continue to shine as a testimony to His unending love and grace. Padre Pio reflects upon the richness of the spiritual life and the transformative journey of faith. The abundance of this season, as he sees it, is not merely material, but deeply spiritual. It calls for steadfastness in God's Word, which serves as the foundation and guide for every step. The Bible is more than a book. It is a living testament, a reservoir of wisdom, and a source of promises that affirm one's identity in the eyes of the Creator. These promises are the sustenance of faith and the anchor that prevents the soul from being swept away by the temptations of worldly success. Trials, as Padre Pio would assert, are the crucible in which faith is refined. They teach the heart to find sufficiency in God alone. The lessons learned in moments of adversity are the treasures that sustain the soul when blessings abound. This new chapter of life, abundant with God's grace, is not the culmination, but the commencement of a divine plan. Through this phase, God's promises will unfold, His glory will shine, and His purposes will manifest through the life of the faithful. With great blessings, however, come significant responsibilities. Padre Pio reminds that these are not burdens but privileges, a calling to be a light, an instrument of hope, and a testament to God's enduring faithfulness. The blessings bestowed are not meant for self-glorification, but to uplift others, spread the gospel, and further God's kingdom. He emphasizes that every step in life, every challenge faced, and every triumph achieved has been orchestrated by God to prepare the soul for this moment. Nothing is accidental. All experiences are intricately woven into the tapestry of a divine purpose. In this season of abundance, the heart and mind must be guarded with vigilance. Success and prosperity, while gifts from God, bring their own trials. They test humility, focus, and fidelity to the divine. The gifts should never overshadow the giver. Padre Pio speaks of the necessity to remain rooted in God, for He is the source of all good things. The blessings are meant to elevate, not isolate, and the heart must remain fixated on the eternal rather than the fleeting. The faithful are called to embody the love and grace of God in a world yearning for hope. Padre Pio sees the life of a believer as a beacon, a living sermon that speaks louder than words. The testimony of overcoming trials, sustained by divine favor and perseverance, will inspire and draw others closer to God. It is through living in alignment with God's will and demonstrating His transformative power that others may find their way to faith. Padre Pio also reflects on the profound lessons of scarcity and adversity. Those moments when one had nothing but God were not moments of despair, but of preparation. They built a foundation of trust, dependence, and resilience that will sustain through the trials of success. Standing now at the threshold of extraordinary blessings, the faithful must remain anchored in this foundation, unshaken by the transient nature of worldly pleasures or opinions. The stewardship of God's blessings is a sacred responsibility. Padre Pio emphasizes that the resources and opportunities given are not for personal indulgence, but to serve a higher purpose. These blessings are channels through which God's love and provision flow to others. The faithful are called to be active participants in God's work, uplifting the brokenhearted and meeting the needs of the vulnerable. This partnership with God is both an honor and a mission, requiring humility and a clear understanding of one's divine calling. Padre Pio acknowledges the trials that accompany success. Not everyone who celebrates your achievements does so with pure intentions. There will be those who seek to exploit the moment for personal gain. However, God provides wisdom and discernment to navigate these challenges. The faithful are reminded to remain attuned to God's voice, trusting His guidance in all relationships, decisions, and plans. Finally, Padre Pio calls for a deepening of spiritual disciplines. The abundance of this season is not only an outward manifestation, but also an invitation to grow inwardly. Prayer, meditation, and acts of devotion are the sustenance that fortify the soul. These disciplines ensure that the blessings of God do not become a source of distraction, but a means to draw even closer to Him. The journey, while abundant, is also a sacred responsibility to reflect God's love and grace to a world in need. It is a journey marked by divine purpose, unwavering faith, and the boundless love of the Creator. Under the perspective of Padre Pio, the path through life, marked by its trials, blessings, and transformations, must always be deeply intertwined with unwavering faith and devotion to God. The practices of prayer, worship, fasting, and studying His Word are not mere rituals. They are lifelines, especially in the wilderness of life. They anchor the soul in humility and divine purpose, ensuring that no worldly success can replace the quiet communion with the Creator. Those sacred moments, cherished fiercely, are where strength, peace, and clarity are renewed, and where God reveals his divine strategies, wisdom, and guidance. It is paramount to understand that God's timing is not only perfect, but deliberate in its design. Every delay, every prolonged season of waiting serves a divine purpose. Reflect on the journey, and you will see how the Lord orchestrated every moment, not withholding blessings, but preparing the heart to carry them with integrity and grace. These delays are moments of divine alignment, where God arranges the right people, opportunities, and circumstances to unfold his perfect plan. Faith, therefore, must remain active, even as blessings manifest. The abundance of God is not an end point, but a stepping stone towards greater works and deeper trust. His plans are vast, exceeding human imagination, as they are rooted in abundance that surpasses material wealth. True wealth is found in the fullness of life, lived in alignment with his purpose, spiritually, emotionally, relationally, and physically. Trust in him to complete the good work he has begun, for his faithfulness is unwavering. Your life stands as a testimony to the miracles of God. It is proof that he can transform harm into beauty, restore what was lost, and elevate the humble. This transformation is not for your glory, but to inspire others to believe, hope, and trust in the God who never fails. Sharing your story becomes a divine act of sowing seeds of faith in the hearts of others, seeds that will bear fruit in ways unseen, perpetuating his kingdom on earth. The blessings ahead will demand courage and a willingness to step beyond comfort. The risks and challenges required will deepen your trust in God, but you can move forward with confidence, knowing he who sustained you in trials will uphold you in triumph. He has not brought you to this moment to abandon you. His promises are steadfast, and his plans are unerring. The trials and waiting were not in vain. They were tools of preparation, sharpening your faith and fortitude for the divine assignments ahead. These blessings, whether they manifest as wealth, influence, or opportunities, are not solely rewards, but sacred trusts. They are instruments through which God's glory is reflected and his kingdom expanded. The focus, therefore, should never rest on the gain, but on the transformation of the soul. Through every blessing and every trial, God has been molding your heart, strengthening your faith, and instilling humility. These spiritual treasures will sustain you beyond applause and through inevitable challenges. Remain steadfast in prayer, rooted in his word, and intentional in nurturing your relationship with him. Let your life radiate as a beacon of his faithfulness, a living testament to his power to redeem, restore, and elevate. The season you now enter is one of fulfillment and revelation, where his promises are realized and his plans are unveiled. Step forward boldly, live with purpose, and let every blessing testify to the God who made it all possible. With this new season, know that you're called not just to receive, but to give, to become a conduit of his grace and blessings to others. The trials you endured were tools of refinement, the waiting a crucible of patience, and the pain a preparation for this divine moment. Walk with faith, anchored in the assurance that you are stepping into the fulfillment of his perfect will. Trust in his providence, and let every step forward glorify the one who has prepared you for such a time as this. As we conclude, let us reflect on the divine grace that carries us through every trial and triumph. If this message has touched your heart or stirred your spirit, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. How has God's timing or his plans shaped your journey? Share your testimony. It could be the light someone else needs today. Feel free to pass this message along to someone who might need encouragement, for as Padre Pio often reminded us, we are instruments in the hands of the Creator. called to inspire, uplift, and bring hope to one another. Together, let us walk boldly in faith, trusting in His perfect plan and sharing His love with the world. Thank you for joining us today, and may the peace of God be with you always. Until next time, go forth in His grace and live out the blessings He has prepared for you. God bless.